Hello everyone, welcome to today's video, where today we're going to take a look at the Marvel Select Crimson Dynamo. And, you know what? Let's just add another figure in there. Two big beefy boys. We got the Marvel Select Titanium Man and Crimson Dynamo, here. Sorry, let me adjust the camera. Get that. I can't see my support. Pull the camera out a little. And these are just big, hefty packages. I'm sorry, you can see Ben Grimm there on the side. Yeah, and they look pretty good. Yeah, rest in peace to Diamond Select Toys, Marvel Select, that whole company. Really sad what happened, and they made really good figures, especially for a 7-inch scale, especially for the limited articulation they were allowed to put in them. I think these figures are really pretty good figures, honestly, all things considered. So, yeah. Let's look at the packaging. I like this packaging a lot. I prefer this because you can see the actual, like, classic version of the character. That logo's cool and all, but I really like the classic art. You got more art right there for Titanium Man, Crushing Iron Man. You got a read up on the back. It says, numerous villains have made up Iron Man's gallery of enemies, with many of them similarly armor-based in order to counter Iron Man's abilities. The Russians have created both the Crimson Dynamo and Titanium Man to try and stop the threat posed by Iron Man, and they have fought Stark through numerous iterations. This collector's edition action figure of Titanium Man is based on the appearance of classic Marvel comics. Okay, I don't need to read that. 16 points of articulation, though, it says, so that's cool. And same with the Crimson Dynamo. We'll read him up. We'll look at him. Got the window. Art on this. Well, that's not even art, that's figure shot. So this one gets art and this one gets a figure shot. So I'm assuming they're more proud of this figure, which they should be. This is the cooler figure in my opinion. Yeah, that's something about Diamond Select Toys. Their packaging is always really nice, and this window is really nice to look at. You basically see everything in there. It's really nice. I'm really gonna miss this company, even though I don't buy a lot. I actually technically did buy a lot back in the day. I bought Mini-Mates, which Diamond Select Toys owns. They bought the rights to that, I believe. I don't think they invented Mini-Mates, but back when I was a kid, Mini-Mates were like my secondary Lego. I bought those a lot, so. The Marvel Select figure of Crimson Dynamo. Okay, it doesn't have any. Oh, right here. Here, let's read it like that. The Mini have donned the iconic armor of the Crimson Dynamo. No man has borne the mantle longer than Dmitry Bukharin. Originally suited up during the Soviet era at the behest of the KGB, Bukharin's allegiances and affiliations have changed numerous times, having acted as both enemy and ally to his longtime American counterpart, Iron Man. The Crimson Dynamo has most recently served his motherland as a member of the heroic Winter Guard. So yeah, I really like the Winter Guard, and I can't wait to get the other figures. I mean, they won't be from Diamond Select, but at least the big guy is. I mean, I think Titanium Man joins the Winter Guard. Sometimes I believe that's the case. But Crimson Dynamo is definitely part of the Winter Guard, so I'll definitely be picking up the Marvel Legends counterparts, and then the Medi Toys, like War Bear, I'll be using that as Ursa Major. So let's get these guys open, and I'll be right back. Okay, and I got out Crimson Dynamo, and the worst part about Diamond Select Toys is all the twist sizes they use, and I get why. It's to stop product theft, make sure it stays in the packaging, make sure it looks, presentable. But yeah, so we got him out. Now let's get Titanium Man out. Okay, now we have the two big bastards out of the box, and I'm ready to look at them. We're gonna look at Titanium Man first because he's the figure he's the character I'm less interested in. Let's say it like that. The figure, I don't know if I'm less interested in. I think I'm pretty equally interested in both. I like both these figures. They both look cool, but Crimson Dynamo is just a character I really like more than Titanium Man. I still like Titanium Man, but Crimson Dynamo is just the man. I'm going to actually take the head off because that's, you want the actual Titanium Man on there, which is how I wish they displayed it in packaging because, for the inbox collectors, because these definitely have inbox collectors. I mean, the packaging is so pretty on these guys that how could they not? So yeah. Make sure the joints aren't stuck. Probably shouldn't be just cranking on that out of the package, but whatever. Okay, so this guy looks beautiful. Honestly, straight up beautiful. I'm a big fan of this design. It looks great. It's classic, but not... I feel like in figure form, it doesn't look so classic to where it hurts. You know what I mean? Like, some figures can be, like, very, very classic looking. And I love that. Don't get me wrong. I love a classic figure. But some designs are goofy and can't really be interpreted to action figure form. I think this Titanium Man interprets really well. I mean, don't get me wrong, that face is goofy, but that face is going to be goofy no matter what, unless they completely change it. But everything else, I think, looks really well. Maybe the skirt would be a little goofy, but besides that, I think he just looks really big and bulky and just scary. You don't want this guy to be on your bad, like, you don't want to be on this guy's bad side. You don't want this guy to be up against you. You don't want him to be crushing you face in like he is, you know, Iron Man on the package. Does he have a bicep swivel, or am I an idiot? Yeah, it's just really tight, I think. Maybe not? Oh, he does have a bicep swivel. Why is this one so tight? Okay, well, we'll look at that in a minute. So, as far as paint goes, it's not too crazy. I don't know if the whole figure is painted in this green or if this is just the plastic color. But the plastic, if it's the plastic, it looks great. If it's paint, it looks amazing. And then really it's just like that face that's painted on, which the face looks great. I mean, look at that. Awesome looking. And then the face for the unmasked head sculpt looks good, but you can see some green poking out. So it almost makes him look sickly. So maybe, you know, if you want to say like he's being infected by the suit or something, you could do that. Me personally, I'll never use this head sculpt, really. Maybe for action figure photography and stuff. If I ever wanted to do that, I could do that with this. But this is the face that'll be on him on the shelf, you know, as, you know, on the villain shelf. So, because he will be on the villain shelf. So, yeah. I mean, well, since we just showed it, might as well get into accessories. He comes with this head sculpt and a pair of these open hands. And that's really it. And for Diamond Select Toys, that's really light. But he's a big figure. A lot of plastic. A lot of, you know, probably paint budget went into this. And honestly, if this was a Marvel Legends, I don't think he would come with anything. Especially if it was this size. So, at least back in the day. Maybe now it would have. I don't know. They still like to cut corners sometimes. So, but I think this is still fabulous figure. I mean, I don't need all those. I don't even know what else you would want to give him. If I can think. Maybe he's different, like, heads and stuff. Maybe battle damage head and stuff. But this is... And he's got the essentials, which is good. So, yeah. It's a Diamond Select toy. It's Marvel Select. It's going to be a little bit more stiff. It's not going to be as agile. It's not going to be Mafex level or even Mezco level. It's not going to be Marvel Legends level. But that's because Hasbro has it in their, like, agreement, or had it. I mean, not anymore. Diamond Select Toys isn't around anymore. Where, like, Diamond Select Toys could, for their Marvel, at least for their Marvel figures, I don't know if it's for every figure, but for the Marvel figures, they could only have a certain number of articulation points on the actual figure, so they had to, like, you know, which is weird because they're different scales, technically, so I guess they're too close for Hasbro to be comfortable, because I think they know that Diamond Select would outsell them in Marvel Toys if that was the case. So, for head articulation, you have like a dumbbell joint up there, so that's nice. So you actually get really good head articulation, better than I know Marvel Legends would probably do. Like for this, he can look up. Like Marvel Legends cannot do that with their Spider-Man figures that use that joint, so that's really good. The arm goes up fairly far. There's a bicep swivel. This one's stuck, very NECA-like. Maybe it's, I was going to say maybe it's the scale, but I don't think McFarlane figures get stuck like that. As shitty as McFarlane figures are, and I don't like, yeah. You get a hinge and swivel at the elbow. Gets 90 degrees. Actually, yeah, 90 degrees. And you got a hinge in and out on the wrists. That's a little stuck too. There's paint chippage. There's going to be paint chippage in that. So, yes, very NECA-like. And then for torso articulation, you only get that much crunch and that much arc back. You get some tilt, twist. Not the best artistic torso articulation, but for everything Marvel Select does and how good these look, I give them a pass on that, honestly. Especially, I mean, the arms work really well. The head works really well. I mean, these legs work pretty well, honestly. That's pretty good. That's better than I think Hasbro would be able to do. So, and then he does have an upper thigh swivel, but it's really stuck. So I'd probably have to eat this guy up. That one, okay, you can see that one works. But yeah, and then he's got a hinge and swivel at the knee. He's got a hinge on the boot to that far back. And then actually, oh wow, that's cool. The Venom didn't have that. So the Venom, I know the Venom's an older figure, that's why, probably, but I didn't expect any Diamond Selects to have a rocker, so that's nice. Yeah, so this is like such a good figure. And all the details, it's just so pretty. Oh, this is gonna stand out on the shelf. And look, even the treads on the boots. Oh, just such a nice looking figure. I'm so sad that Diamond Select Toys are going out of business. And maybe I should have supported them more when I had the chance. I mean, I never disliked them or anything. I always liked Diamond Select Toys. And I did support them with the Mini-Mates line. So, yeah. Next we have Dimitri. And we're going to take off the Robo Don't Know head. That's what he looks like to me. Well, like an angrier version, but still. And that head is not wanting to pop off. Okay. And we're going to put on the Crimson Dynamo head, because that's how I feel like everyone views him. And the faceplate popped off, which is good, because I'm going to put on the more classic faceplate option. Because that's my Crimson Dynamo. Well, maybe if it will go. Okay, we'll go. Alright. So for Crimson Dynamo, well, we're going to take Titanium Man out of the frame because I don't want the camera to autofocus on him. But he's a little smaller. Well, as you can see, he's smaller than Titanium Man. So he's going to have more accessories when we get to that point. So that's good. So that I'm fairly certain that's why why Titanium Man doesn't have as many accessories, because he's a bigger figure and more plastic, more paint required for that. But he still has accessories. So he still has accessories, and I'm glad that Crimson Dynamo has. Dude, stop. Sorry, if the recording gets cut out, it's because my phone stops recording when someone calls me, and I keep getting spam calls, and I'm recording this on my phone right now, so sorry. I don't know if everything I say is getting picked up or not, so sorry about that. But as I was saying, I think that's why I'm pretty certain, like 99% sure that's why Titanium Man doesn't come with as much, but he comes with essentials, like I said. Crimson Dynamo comes with a lot of extras, and they're good extras, don't get me wrong, but honestly, if the figure being this nice, I would have, paid for this. Just the figure and maybe a pair of open hands, and I think that's all I would need. Like, that's how good these figures look. And that's the thing about these figures. They're $30. They're $29.99 for these, and these are 7-inch scale. It's not exactly, McFarlane Toys, like $24, whatever it was before pricing for 7-inch scale figures. But those figures are ass, and none of those really ever came with accessories. You had a Superman with one flight hand and one fist. And I don't mean one extra for each side. No, I mean, that's it. That's all they came with. Like, so these come with accessories. These are not the most articulated, but they're well enough that you can get good poses out of them. You can figure it out if you're good enough at posing. So honestly, I really like these, and I'm excited to get more. I really am. I'm not a 7-inch scale collector, but I'm gonna pick up the ones that I believe either I'm really interested in, or I think will kind of fudge into the 6-inch scale collection. We'll put it that way. So for paint, I think this whole thing's paint. I don't think this is the plastic. Same with Titanium Man. I think this is paint. If not, the plastic looks awesome, and I want to know what kind of plastic this is, because this is awesome. If so, the paint looks amazing, and they did a great job. The aesthetic is just there. Similar to Titanium Man, I don't think this is goofy. I think this is a classic design that works really well. And yeah, they have modernized it. Marvel Legends did a modern Crimson Dynamo, which is a cool figure. He looks really dope. But this is Crimson Dynamo, and this looks more cool, in my opinion. So yeah, this is really cool, and I'm glad to have him. For articulation, since we did that, we'll do that first. The head is not as good as Titanium Man, but it's because I think it's because that lip. If they didn't have that lip there, and the helmet wasn't so weird, and it wasn't so sunk in, because this one is a little. Oh well, if I could not knock it over. This one's a little higher on that ball joint, so it gets more, tilt and stuff. So this one's not as high on that ball joint, so it's not gonna get as much, but it's not horrible. So yeah, for torso, he gets a little crunch, not too much. Pretty good crunch back. Oh, sorry. Titanium Man fell. I'll just set him off to the side. Pretty good crunch back. You get good tilt. Pretty good tilt, actually. Rotation. You can get him in a good pose. You get the arm can go up to there, which is pretty nice. You got an upper bicep swivel, which is nice. It's kind of hard to see where that... I just lost the hinge. Okay, the hinge is in the back. I have it... kind of weird. Okay. And then you get a hinge and swivel at the elbow, which does not make 90. That is disappointing. That is very disappointing. But I like this so much that I don't even... I'm not going to, throw this figure away because of it. He's going on the shelf. If I can figure out a way to mod that and make it better, I will. But it's not like he's bad because of it. He's still, in my opinion, better than the Marvel Legends. So, and for the legs, he can only kick up to there. He can kick out to... Oh, very well. Holy shit. There's no reason every Marvel Legends cannot do that. So annoying. You have a thigh swivel at the top. And then you have a hinge and swivel at the knee. That does not make 90 either, so that's also... I think it's hinge and swivel. Yeah, but it's like a stuck swivel, so... Yeah, you get a little. That's going to show through. But, yeah, that's also disappointing, so if I can figure out how to mod that, I will do that too. You have a, like a cut down there, boot cut, and then you have a hinge that can go back that far, forward that far, forward facing pin for Raka. Okay, so for accessories, what we're gonna do is look at them. Obviously, that arm does not. I don't know why. One of these arms wants to go down farther than the other. So maybe I have the. No, I don't have the bicep on backwards or anything. I don't know. I guess I'll just have to pose that away. Okay. For accessories, he has the Dimitri head, which is nice. Very well painted. It doesn't have green showing through or red showing through like the Titanium Man one does, so that's nice. And then you get some face plates. You get this one, which I think this is pretty classic-y, but I'm a bigger fan of this one. I think they're both pretty classic, honestly. So, whichever one you like, use that. But this is my favorite. And then you get this head sculpt, which is him shooting out his, rays. And then to go with that, you get two hands that are shooting out rays. And this is something that I just know Marvel Legends wouldn't do. So it's so nice. For $30, you get all this. And that's not even all you get. You also get a pair of gripping hands, so you can just grip Iron Man or whatever, and these will work really well for a Marvel Legends because they're smaller than Diamond Select. So, and then last but not least, you get relaxed hands. You get all the hands you want. I do kind of wish that I got a pair of these without the thing as well. But, I'm not going to complain about that. I'm sorry, you just probably saw my face. My ugly-ass face, sorry. My camera's on a very flimsy setup, and... Yeah, sorry about that. That just flashed me pretty hard. So, flashed my eyes. So, yeah, this guy is an awesome figure, and I'm glad to have him. And rest in peace, Diamond Select Toys. We're gonna do size comparisons now. Let's get this guy posed up a little bit. Well, maybe not posed up, but vanilla pose is what I kind of meant. And yeah, I wish Diamond Select Toys wouldn't have closed because there's so many more figures they could give us that I just know they'd kill it on. Honestly, they would kill a Kingpin, I think. So, yeah, I got a few bigger figures that we're going to take a look at. These are figures that I thought, end all be all size-wise, I thought, for 1/12 scale would never be topped. And then now they're being topped by these guys. So we're going to put them like this. I'm going to kind of angle them so I can get more size on them. Yeah. he's even bigger than the Marvel Legends Hulk. I know the Marvel Select Hulk's pretty big too, so maybe I'll pick up a Marvel Select Hulk one day too. We have the Juggernaut, which is bigger than this Crimson Dynamo, but smaller than the Titanium Man. The Titanium Man is just huge. He's my biggest figure in my collection right now. Until I get like a Hot Toys or something, he's the biggest figure. And he's definitely going to always probably be the biggest 1/12 scale figure. Unless that Game & Reverse Venom is really that big. And speaking of Venom, we got Red Hulk. No, just kidding. I'm going to pull in the Venom too. And this is the Hulk I'm using as my Red Hulk on the shelf for now until I get a better one. But he's still pretty cool. I got this is the only other Marvel Select I have. This is a really old figure. This is the Venom. And he's still really cool. I still really like this Venom. He doesn't stand very well, as you can see. But I'm going to be replacing him soon. I mean, not replacing him. He's going to be on my Midnight Sun shelf forever, probably. Because I like having a Venom on Midnight Suns ever since the game. So yeah, he's less articulated than these guys in some points. In some points, he's a little bit more articulated, I feel like. I feel like the torso is pretty cool. Well, maybe not. But the legs, I feel like, get better range. But they're more floppy, too, so. And then, the only other Winter Guard figure I have is the Red Widow. And I have her just as a random G.I. Joe character because I didn't have any other Winter Guard members. But now, she'll be with them. I'll put the cape back on and probably get a cloth cape made. And she'll be up there. So we have her. And then it's not a Winter Guard member, but I'm just going to put him up here. Here's a Punisher just to show off a good figure. These are all good figures in my opinion. Even the Red Widow, you get rid of the cape and I think she's a good figure. And then these are probably the more important, comparisons. We have the Marvel Legends. This is the West Coast Avengers 5-pack Iron Man, Silver Centurion, which is my favorite Iron Man suit. And this is the Secret Wars Wave Iron Man. And these are actually the effects from the dildo effects from the Hood figure. But I cut off the dildo to make it kind of look like he has fire there. So yeah, that's Iron Man with them. I don't know which one I would want to pose these guys up with. Probably the Silver Centurion, since he's just my favorite look for Iron Man. But I think they're all pretty cool. So they look good together. And the only other 7-inch scale figures I own are NECA. And then I have some McFarlane toys. But I don't have those anymore because they're shit. And then I don't want to pull out the NECA. So I will show off the Kingpin, another big figure I have. And then here's the thing. They're not as big, but they are bigger, So I don't ask me why he has a scarf on. I just like putting that scarf on random figures sometimes. We can do a mutant, since there is a mutant on the Winter Guard. Ursa Major is a mutant. And we'll do another mutant. Here's the Mezco Wolverine. So yeah, I always said this Mezco will work better in 7-inch scale, and they're kind of proving that. I like this sizing, so that's nice. They're both Mezco, actually. I don't know why I just said that for Wolverine, but yeah. I think that's all I have. Oh, I have the Amazing Yamaguchi Spider-Man, if y'all want to see that. Here he is. And then we'll do the Marvel Legends Agent Venom too, I guess. Just to, There we go. That's pretty much all the size comparisons I have. I don't have anything else to really compare you guys to. Yeah, guys, I like these guys, and they'll definitely be going on the shelf somewhere. Since they've both been villains, I think they'll both go on the actual villain shelf for now until I fill out the Winter Guard. I think they will be on the villain shelf. When I fill out the Winter Guard, they'll probably go on the hero shelf. Maybe get their own they won't get their own shelf. I don't have the room for that right now. But they'll get somewhere dedicated on a shelf. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you enjoyed the video. And please like and subscribe. Comment if you can. Let me know any other figures you think I should pick up. soon I'm probably going to start reviewing a lot more Godzilla stuff, because I'm a huge Godzilla fan. I just haven't really gotten into collecting Godzilla merch yet. So Godzilla will be up there, and more TMNT stuff, especially that April O'Neil from Mirage. I definitely need that figure. So yeah, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye.